Hey guys, Bicebump here, bringing you this Dragonflight Frost TK two-hand Obliteration Mythic Plus guide. I quite strongly believe that two-hand Obliteration is the best option in the absolute majority of instances when you play Mythic Plus as a Frost TK. Obviously, Breath to Negosa is the best spec in Raid by quite a bit. But two-hand Obliteration does really well in Mythic Plus because it's so versatile. Breath kind of requires your tank to really know what he's doing, right? And they need to be chain pulling for you to be able to leverage that, possibly. Whereas two-hand is much more versatile and your damage windows are much more frequent. Also, you get to see what happened just there when you get double 240k Oblit crits. You know, I'm not saying that's something I don't enjoy personally. Anyway, we're going to talk about the talent setup I run, slightly cover trinkets, and then I'm just going to provide commentary for this run. This is a plus 18 horse Valor. I think this is a relatively good Frost TK run because there's lots of like smallish pulls which two-hand Oblit loves. Still, it's going to be somewhat messy, so I'm going to fast forward one all the times I kind of die, but you know, that happens. That's Myth Plus for you. Anyway, start off with talents, right? I got the talent that I'm running up here. There. This runs Chill Streak and Everfrost. I think there's like two builds you can run as two-hand Oblit. Either you pick up this one with Chill Streak and Everfrost, or you go into Frostwind Fury and Absolute Zero. And I think it depends on the target count of the dungeon. So if you're running Academy, for instance, Frostwind Fury is going to do an absolute ton of damage, right? And it could be worthwhile to pick up. Whereas most of the dungeons, Shield Streak and Everfrost will net you higher overall. Shield Streak is really nice, actually, because what generally happens is that the 45-second cooldown aligns well with your Pillar Frost windows. Since we're running Ice Cap, yeah, we got a bit shorter than 1 minute. And 45 is a kind of like general point we get. So we can then time every Chill Streak with every Pillar Frost window, which feels good because it buffs it and it synergizes quite nicely. Cool. For trinkets, I'm currently running Puzzle Box and Grief Torch, which is what I run because this is my unholy raid gear. You know, I'm not optimized for this at all. Other options, I think shorter trinkets, like short cooldown trinkets like Hoof, I'll pick up a couple on there that you can use with your Oblit window is probably a good idea. Furthermore, something like Wet Scar is a great trinket for dealing that big AoE damage, but something passive also works. So you can pick up the passive Braid trinket, or you can go for something like Hunger of the Pack. You know, that's the kind of vibe I'm getting. For the stats, it's generally, I'd say, recommended to have a good balance of crit, mastery, and haste. The thing is, you want to have lots of killing machine procs. To get that, you want equal amounts of haste and crit. That's kind of like the optimal point. But you also want mastery, because that all the AoE kind of scales to mastery. So the thing is that all those stats are good for you, and you would generally aim to have equal amounts. If you want more single target, you go a bit more haste. If you want AoE, you want a bit more crit mastery. You can see here I'm running a ridiculous amount of haste, but that's because this amount all is set, as I said. Now let's talk about the rotation, because I feel like this is the primary point of this video, both to just discuss it in general, but also for me to talk through all the different pools, my kind of thinking, and how I approach them. So you might have noticed up here, this is my rotation as I press it. This doesn't tell me what to press, it tells me what I just have been pressing. When you go to Interpool, you want to start with pressing Remorse Winter, then you want to go into Chill Streak, and then you want to use your Pillar and immediately proc your first kill machine. This generally means pressing Pillar and then immediately either Remorse Winter if you have a Rhyme proc, or Glacial Advance if you don't. Also, it's generally a good idea to use Glacial Advance here if you can do it, because Glacial Advance means that you get better Unholy Unleashed Frenzy uptime, you know, the the buff you get from spending rune power that deals damage to enemies. Also means that your IC talents uptimes is kept up high. And honestly, Glacial Advance deals a ton of damage. You will see in this run, I actually deprioritize Rhyme quite a lot. And that's specifically to keep up my Unleashed Frenzy, but also to do lots of damage. So if there's, I think it's 7 targets, it depends on your talent build, but Glacial Advance will deal more damage than a Rhyme proc, depending on build, at between, you know, I think it can be as low as 4 targets, even up to 7. Right, that's the kind of general vibe. So you go Remorseless Winter, you press your cooldowns you want to use for that, so kind of Chill Streak, Abomination Limb should come there. You should also use, what's it called, Empower Rune Weapon. Then you press Pillar, and immediately trigger your first Kill Machine. After that, you want to pop down Deafening K. And this might sound a bit odd, because in my guides, previously, I'm going on and on about, you know, your Deafening K window is sacred. You should not press anything else than Obliterate, or something that generates Obliterate in that window. The thing is, you want to maximize the number of Oblit cleaves in your window. And that means that, essentially, Deafening K lasts for 10 seconds, right? Pillar Frost is 12. So if you use Deafening K beforehand, it's going to finish before Pillar Frost window. So you're going to lose out on some Oblit cleaves. So it's worthwhile to spend that GCD to press your Deafening K to maximize the number of Oblit cleaves you get, right? Now, for your Oblit window, ideally, you should be pressing Oblit every second GCD. And you can see I don't quite do that all the time, and because sometimes you'll be unlucky with procs, which means that you will run out of runes. At that point, I like to press Glacial Advance. Even if I have a Rhyme proc, I will press Glacial Advance there because, one, it has a chance to generate a rune because of Obliteration as a talent, right? But also has a chance due to spending runing power. So generally, right, you run out of runes, pressing that Glacial Advance is going to give you the highest probability of them being able to press an Oblit next GCD. Yeah, I hope that's not wrong, but I think that's right. Right, we'll see we're going to mess up here. So ideally we want to pull triple of the big guys, but we managed to pull the group in the middle as well. So we're going to have a bit of trick time. If you're running puzzle box, you can see that, use it before the pull, right? Not somewhere in between. So before you do anything else, it lasts for 20 seconds, much longer than our rest cooldown. So just make sure to use it early. All right, you can see I'm running 4 set here, so sometimes get some juicy double Oblit procs, which is always so incredibly satisfying. Love it. Just spend them. So try and rack to them. Obviously, you can't always do that if you run out of runes. You know, they are quite... The 4 set is demanding when it comes to your rune economy, because pressing double Oblit in a row, that's 4 runes, and it's not like your Oblit window is designed to have that. Generally try and kind of have some good resources before you go into your Oblit window, but you will end up, you know, missing out on some cleaves overall. All right, quite a lot of rambling there. I hope that's sensible. As I said, generally, Remorseless Winter, pop your cooldowns, Pillar Frost into your Kill Machine generator, Deafening K, and then you do your kind of your Oblit weaving, where it's consume Kill Machine, generate Kill Machine, consume Kill Machine, generate Kill Machine, and so on. After your Oblit window is done, you can just do a single target rotation, but do Glacial Advance with your Renew Power. And then you press Remorseless Winter on cooldown. So outside of cities, it's kind of fine. You have your secondary Deafening K window, which I feel like we need to discuss. I'm running Death's Echo here, so I get double Deafening K. And you want to use that secondary one sometimes. I'd like to wait for it until I do get a Killer Machine proc, like here. So I can... Oh, hang on. No, that was just me completely botching my Pillar Frost window. Sorry. Generally, outside of Pillar Frost, right, I wait for the Killer Machine proc and then pop down Deafening K so I can use that for the cleave. So I get kind of like double value. And then you keep cleaving and hopefully get some more procs after that point. But that's the general kind of vibe. All right. Any cooldown I missed here? No. We talked about Abomination Limb. Just use it before a Pillar Frost window. Chill Streak, use before every Pillar Frost window. Don't use it in single target. you might actually see me using a single target. If you run out of the boss, right, you're out of range, I like to press Glacial Advance, because I can still hit the boss, or Chill Streak, because, you know, you're GCD capped anyway, so you might as well spend that GCD doing that. Alright, very classical opening here. So, Monsters Winter, pop on my cooldowns, including Abomination Limb and Chill Streak, and then we go into our Oblique window. I keep track of my Unleashed Frenzy, which means that I pretty much every second Kill Machine generation has to be from Glacial Advance. So you might pay attention to that. Sometimes I ignore the rhymes because every second has to be from Glacial Advance to keep up Unleashed Frenzy. That's a good kind of rule of thumb. And then outside of the window, I just keep doing my single target rotation, which is just pressing Obliterate and Glacial Advance. And I keep mashing these. Alright. Pack's about to die, so I'll probably hold off on my cooldowns here. And off we go. For the single target rotation, not much to be said there. It's similar to what I talked about in AoE, but you don't use Chill Streak, you don't use Glacial Advance, you just press Frost Strike there. I'm gonna die here, I think, because I'm not paying attention here to the Blaster Life, so I'm gonna fast forward a bit. There we go. Back again. Alright, and then we're going to move on to the boss. So I think this build, it does respectable damage on any kind of low target pool, but it also scales quite nicely in AoE. You can sort of see that first pull, right? I was at 200, 300, something like that. So it does both do well on small target pools, but it can also do well in AoE. Won't do as well as Unholy, I think, overall. Just getting it out there. But it's still strong. Alright, so now we've got a single target one. I don't have any cooldowns here. Here's a point for single target. So you can see I use Glacial Advance there. And you're probably going to see me make a mistake at some point here where I press Glacial Advance when I shouldn't. Essentially, we want to stack up 5 stacks of Razor Eyes quickly. And we get that either from our Rhyme procs, because we picked up that talent that gives Razor Eyes off rhymes, or from Glacial Advance. That means that it's worthwhile at the start of the pool to use a Runic Power for Glacial Advance to stack up that Razor Eyes debuff, yeah? This doesn't mean that you should put Glacial Advance in Raid or whatever, right? It's a bad talent for single target, but it's still worthwhile to press it single target, if that makes sense, just to stack up. Here we've got Sanctify. If you know what you're doing here, you can continue DPSing the boss. The pattern is predictable. So, you know, you have one of these swallows coming out, you go stand where that came from, and then right at the end you sidestep again. Alright, we've got my Oblit window here, classical, you know, Frost Strike, Oblit, usually Rhyme, Oblit, Frost Strike, Oblit, Rhyme, Oblit. That's kind of like what's going to happen there. Well, sometimes you don't get Rhyme procs, so then you get multiple Frost Strikes in a row. Anyway, from this point onward, I would simply narrate my gameplay. So we won't be talking about the rotation per se. I will simply go through how I'm thinking, how I'm saving my cooldowns, and so on. We missed out on this guy in the middle. He was still standing there channeling, so we have to go kill him. And then we're going to move on to the next boss. Alright. If you want the weak hour package that I got here, it's in the description. You can just join that and it's going to give you the exact same thing I have here. I wonder if I should include my stats in the weak hour package. Lots of people ask us about those, but I don't think that's worthwhile. Alright, boss time. So we have all our cooldowns. I'm going to start here with Monsters Winter into Posse Box, yeah? And then we're going to press Pillar. And we're going to go into our Oblite Cleave. I also use my potion there to do some more damage. And now we're just blasting. You can see you got double Oblite there from the set, which is nice. You need to play this with low latency, by the way. Otherwise you won't be dealing as much damage as you could. You can see there, alright, something I forgot to talk about. So I extended my Monsters Winter there. This won't happen very often. We don't have enough stats for it, but essentially, Monsters Winter with Gathering Storm it extends its duration and stacks up the damage. If you manage to extend the duration to such a degree that you can press it when it's already up, what happens is that you refresh duration, but you keep the stacks, which is really good, right? It's a significant upgrade. Unfortunately, careful there, biceps. This won't happen very often. You need lots of stats, you need lots of haste, that kind of thing. And generally for Obliteration, you're not spending that many runes. It's more viable for Breath because they just pressing runes every GCD, right? For Obliteration, sometimes happens during Lost when you have like Empowered Rune Weapon. By the way, you saw me ignore a Rhyme Proc there, just saying. That's how it works. Ooh, I should not have used a Rhyme Proc there though. I should have used a Rhyme Proc at that point. See my Glacial Advance here when I'm out of range. Anyway, sorry. I just want to mention the Glacial Advance, the Gathering Storm thing, because it is a significant upgrade, but you cannot expect it to happen very often. However, Everfrost, if you're running that, Jesus, nearly died there. That is much more valuable to extend. So that's why we want to press Frost Winter on cooldown. It's because doing so will extend the debuff the targets have, which increases the damage Frost Winter does to them. So that's a very important thing to do in AoE. Alright, so pull in the boss. Something else I wanted to talk about, entering a Pillar Frost window with a Killing Machine proc. I tend to delay my Pillar Frost window if I have a Killing Machine proc. Oh, that's a silly mistake from me. I walk out before the AoE is on, so we're just gonna fast forward here. Right, go into Nickelback. Right, so I believe if you have a Killing Machine proc, you spend it before your Pillar Frost window, because essentially that's a wasted opportunity to generate another Killing Machine proc in your Blit window. Yeah, I'm not sure if that makes sense, but that's why I do it. So if you have a Killing Machine, spend it, spend some rune power, and then you press Pillar Frost to kind of go for your window. You can see in that instance there, I think I got triple procs of the set because I had triple Killing Machine in a row, and that's very difficult because that's 6 runes. You will generally not be able to execute that. So what I had to do was press a Glacial Advance in the middle there. Here's a pull without much cooldowns, but that's fine. You can see my shield streak coming up. I'm going to press that, and then I'm going to go into my Pillar Frost window, which is nice because I have Empowered Rune Weapon there, so I'm going to use that there. By the way, Empowered Rune Weapon, you can use that up to 8 seconds before your actual Pillar Frost window, because it's lost for 20 seconds, so you will still get full overlap. However, with Ice Cap reducing your Pillar CD, it's not going to be that consistent, so it depends really when you're going to have it available. But save it for Pillar, that's really clear. Alright, I'm going to try and skip this one, but we don't do so, so I'm just going to jump a bit forward now. And something I shouldn't have mentioned there, you can see when you use Pillar Frost, you get this Frost Whelp coming out. That will ninja pull, right? You need to be incredibly careful when you pick that up. It's talent you really want, but just be mindful. And generally, something I feel like works for me is that when you engage a pack, you go to the other side of the pack, so you then face where you came from, and that means that it's kind of like always naturally safe to use Pillar, because it's easy to forget. I haven't played Frost enough to kind of not make this mistake, so definitely sometimes happens to me that I ninja pull, which is not ideal, of course, and should be avoided. Right, got another open air. I'm going to do Moses Winter into Abomination Limb, I think, and then into my Pillar window, which is going to be triggered with a Howling Blast because I had a rank proc. We got a double Killing Machine proc there. I do Frost Strike to keep up my Unleash Frenzy. I mistakenly used Frost Strike once too much, I think there. I should have used Rhyme the second time, so I make mistakes, that happens. I have my Grief Torch ready here, so I should be using that at some point. That should be used outside of cooldowns, by the way. It doesn't synergize at all. So if you do add a trinket, just use it after your, before or after your Pillar Frost window. Here we go. I use it. Alright, we've got next one coming up. I'm probably gonna save that, I think, because the boss will jump away soon. No, actually. Maybe it's at 60%? Yeah. Oh, right, yeah. So I do use my Pillar Frost window. Didn't get full value, but you know, that's better than getting no value at all. Right, just sending off my talent builder to the stream, I believe. Alright, we've got Puzzle Box. Probably gonna save that for the boss, I think. Or I might use it for my next pillar window. Ah, here we go. That's questionable. I don't have my cooldowns ready. But they're gonna come up soon, so that's kind of fine. We're gonna go Chill Streak here. Don't die. And then enter the Pillar Frost window. Yeah, I delay it slightly because I want to use my Morse's Winter first, right? If you need to delay your pillar window by like 2 seconds something, it's worthwhile to do so, I think, to press for Morse's Winter, so you have that up, because that's a big damage button, but it's also not something you want to press in your pillar window. So a bit tricky one, yeah, but I think it's fine to delay by a few seconds. Got some more. I got my Abomination Limb ready here, so I'm just going to press that. I say this a lot in my videos, but I'm going to say it again. One of the main ways a lot of people can improve the damage is by simply pressing the cooldowns when they come up. Saving cooldowns is like the most detrimental thing you can do to your overall DPS. Sure, there are cases when you want to save cooldowns for a really tricky pill, but like for 99% of every single time you think you should save a cooldown, the answer is no, send it. You know? Alright, this boss is going to be tricky. I think we actually managed to kill it eventually. I got my Grief Torch ready. I'm going to use that hopefully. Grief Torch does do AoE damage a little bit, so nice to use when there's ads like that. I'm just sending my Glacial Lances. Alright, we got Winter Red. We're going to press that to manage to drop my Unleashed Frenzy stack, but I'll get those up quickly. Go into my pillar window, get some nice double oblit. I make a mistake there, you saw it, right? I pressed Rhyme. I used my Howling Blast when I should have pressed Frost Strike because of my Unleashed Frenzy was dropping. Yeah. I think that's an easy one to make. It's such a tight, short cooldown that it's tricky to always manage it 100% properly. Right, so I think we're gonna die here soon. So the range didn't properly stack there, I believe, and we're gonna end up nearly wiping to this boss, if I remember correctly. Might actually fully wipe, I don't know, we'll see. Alright, we're blasting the boss there. I use some Death Strike here to keep myself healthy. Unfortunately, don't have a cooldown to use. And I think this boss is silly, right? I think he can choose to either jump or does his AoE. And if it does his AoE a lot, it's just very difficult to heal because, Christ, it does a lot of damage. Alright, I'm going to keep myself healthy here. Ooh, come on, Death Strike. Sure, Death Strike earlier. Anyway, we're still going to kill it. I've died a couple times, you can see my red is gay at this point, but the boss will die, which is good for us. So we can continue. Alright, just going to fast forward until we engage the next set of packs. Here we do this fancy thing where they pick up, what is it, some bear downstairs, which allows you to fight two of these at the same time at first. So you kind of you trigger one, and then you throw the bear on the other one, and that's going to cause him to start fighting, and then they're both going to become active. Right, as you can see here, Morse's Winter. I think it's probably worthwhile to use Morse's Winter after that. Like, Puzzle Box for Morse's Winter should probably come before, because using Morse's Winter into Puzzle Box means that you kind of waste a lot of GCD, so you could spend empowering your Morse's Winter. I dropped one of these friends there, that's a mistake. Oh well. Happens. 2 targets means I'm going to Glacial Advance. It's worthwhile to use whenever there's more than one target. Right, got my next oblit window. I'm going to use Frost Winter and then move into it. There we go. Unfortunately, I mistimed my chill streak here, which would have been nice to have in this window. Also, we're kiting quite a lot here, so I miss out on some cleave, but oh well. Hey, I asked myself, should I save my chill streak or should I just send it? And I decided I should just send it. It's not ideal, right? You want to sync it up with Pillar Frost because it does synergize very nicely. It scales with strength, which means that it's definitely worthwhile to use together. Oh well. This is like the first point in the entire dungeon that I feel I'm a bit starved for resources. So what I do is actually I hold for a couple of seconds so my next oblit window is better. I must confess, this is not the most popular build, but I really love it because seeing those obliterate crits is just incredibly satisfying. Like when stars align, you saw me getting 240k, cannot deny that feels good. I do tend to I have a soft spot for this M+ build. I don't run it in raid at all, but for mythic class I'm like, oh yeah, let's go in and have some fun, do some blasting, That's a questionable oblit window opener, by the way, biceps. I had the killing machine proc, press my Pillar of Frost and then immediately consume it, and then I don't have nothing else to press. Yeah. Disappointed. Anyway, we've got the next boss. This has some ads that spawn, so it's going to be useful for us to leverage our chill streak to deal with those neatly. Just 2 boss fights now, which are not the most fun. I think I end up at 65k overall. Wasn't the most clean run, could have been better, but I think it's still okay. You can still beat out the other 2 that joined. Obviously they're not playing really meta classes, but I did run some other keys when it was felt comparable. I believe this is a viable build. It's not going to be one of the best ones. It's not going to be like the meta class, but it's definitely something you can just pick up, go in, and deal solid DPS. I think that's the consensus. To be fair, I have an absolute insane amount of gear, so I expect to do quite a lot of damage. Oof. The triple killing machine. Nice. Anyway, so it's gonna be a bit biased there, but as I said, I feel like this works well. It's fun to play. It has nice big hits. Whoops, accidentally stood in that. Not great. Probably gonna death strike a little bit. Yeah, I definitely recommend you guys to try it out, see how it works for you. I don't know, see if you can do something different to optimize it. You can see I did spend my shield streak there, so that it's bouncing now, I think. It's hard to see the little snowball, but I think it should be fine. Drop my Unleashed Frenzy there. Oh well. When I show you the overall, it's going to come at the end of the video. You'll see I do like 40% of my overall with Obliterate. So I think that's pretty nice. Anyway, not much exciting going on here. I got my next Oblit window. It's good I can press from Frost Winter before it. I engage it with my Rhyme proc. I keep up my Unleashed Frenzy with Frost Strike there. Double killing machine, nice. We like to see that. He's gonna do his little ad spawning here, so I'm gonna be able to leverage both my Frost Winter and Chill Streak here to do some damage. It's nice whenever it adds, right? Because that means Chill Streak is actually worthwhile to deal more priority damage because it's gonna bounce back to the boss, which means that it's a good button to press. I could probably do more DPS here if I save my Pillar Frost window for these ads, but like they're not a problem, so I don't think that's worthwhile. It's good for single target. Your Pillar Frost window is going to be around 40 seconds, which means that every second Remorse Winter is going to come before it. Also, it's quite fun to play because since the burst wind is also frequent. You know, it's nice to kind of like get your cooldowns up again and then press them, get them up very quickly. I think dual wield Obliteration a bit more fast paced because then you get them even quicker. But this is also I don't know, it's a fun single target build to play. The core reason why this isn't viable in the raid is both because Breath just deals such good amount of passive cleave all the time, and it can suit mechanics to extend its breath. Right, you can do AMS and AMZ with simulation. Whenever there's magic damage, which there is a lot of, you can press those. It gives you ruling power, and this is why you see Frost DKs that have like 100% breath uptime on Frost Mythic. You know, it's very difficult to compete with that because I feel like the spec is not really balanced around it. So whenever you can leverage it, like if you can't leverage it, they're quite close, Breath and Oblit. But whenever you can leverage it, Breath just blows Oblit out of the water for single target fights or raid fights, that kind of thing. But as I said previously, in Mythic Plus, this is not the case. Breath struggles because Breath kind of needs that very long duration to be worthwhile, and that is difficult to get in normal scenarios. Alright, you can see I made a mistake. I should have pressed Frost Strike to keep up my Unleashed Frenzy, but I pressed my Rhyme proc. Spices. Need to be better at tracking your... Also, this should just come naturally, ideally, as in you should kind of feel the vibe that, okay, every second Killer Machine proc I generate should be coming from Frost Strike or Glacial Advance. And then you get that into the bones. You can see actually I did press Puzzle Box at the start, but then I kind of changed my mind because obviously this boss has this period where you get increased damage, so it's better to save Puzzle Box for that period. And you can see I'm holding my pillar here because I know we're going to get empowered, and this is an excellent opportunity to use all my cooldowns to do some blasting. Let's see how high we can go. 160k, 170. Oh, double. Oof. That feels good. 260. Man, that. Alright. Silly me. I get kind of distracted by my triple 260k Oblit crits, you know. Sorry. But yeah, that feels good. When you get those back-to-back procs, you know, you get Murderous Efficiency procs as well, so you can keep pressing Oblit. Ooh, it feels good. Love it. Anyway, this dungeon is coming to a close, and so is this video. Do leave a comment down below, let me know what you thought about it. You got my breakdown up there, you can have a look at that. You can see overall 66k, relatively happy about that. Do consider subscribing, and nearly at 20k, so let's get that 20k. Also, you can always hit me up on Acro's Discord if you have any questions. I'm more than happy to answer pings or PMs. Yeah. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.